Reid, yeah, we've sailed together in the past, and it's been an adventure, but following your adventure for the past 3 years has been one of the high points of my life, and today I think it really is, and I'm so glad that you did it. Exceeded expectations, broke several records, more than you imagined, and made it back under and endured a lot, and I can't even begin to imagine how you did it, Reid. So thank you for inspiring all of us, and thanks, too. Thank you. Thank you. Reid, yeah, we've sailed together in the past, and it's been an adventure, but following your adventure for the past 3 years has been one of the high points of my life, and today I think it really is, and I'm so glad that you did it. Exceeded expectations, broke several records, more than you imagined, and made it back under and endured a lot, and I can't even begin to imagine how you did it, Reid. So thank you for inspiring all of us, and thanks, too. Thank you. Thank you. Reid, yeah, we've sailed together in the past, and it's been an adventure, but following your adventure for the past 3 years has been one of the high points of my life, and today I think it really is, and I'm so glad that you did it. Exceeded expectations, broke several records.
I wrote this down. I wrote some stuff down because when I started to give my going away speech, I just started crying and I couldn't give my speech. So I've got some, I wrote it down.
And made it back.
The toughest part of the voyage was realizing that Sonia had to go and making the decision that we had to let her off. The toughest part of the voyage was realizing that Sonia had to go and making the decision that we had to let her off. The toughest part of the voyage was realizing that Sonia had to go and making the decision that we had to let her off. I had a hard time after that. It was tough sailing in the Tasman Sea, sailing the boat by myself, and I felt a little unhappy, and I was running out of water, and my desalinator broke. And I noted in my diary there was a moment when all of my sails were torn. I was in such storms, and my sails were so old. All of my sails were torn, and I made it up out of that. And I went up to the equator near the Galapagos Islands, and I finally caught rain and filled my water tanks up. And I was on my way down south, and a friend of mine, an old sailing friend of mine, emailed me, and he said, "Reid, look at your chart, you've drawn a whale." And I immediately looked at my chart, and I have it on my chart, but you've seen it on the Google map. There was a shape of a big whale, 5,000 miles big, and I said, "This is a whale," and all I have to do is change course right now, and I drew a perfect flipper in, and it looks exactly like a whale. And when I did that, my whole state of mind changed, because I knew that nature was with me, and I knew that God was with me, and I knew that I was going to be taken care of, and I changed course for Cape Horn. And after that, I had a beautiful voyage, and I've been sharing it with everyone, and it was very amazing.
Any other questions? Yeah. What?
Second, right with you.
You say love, Reid. Tell me about love. Tell me how much love kept you going all this time.
Before I left, I drew a great big heart on our chart in the South Atlantic Ocean, and I said, we're going to go out and we're going to sail the shape of a heart, and that's going to be the message we're going to give to the whole world. When they see the shape of the heart, we don't have to say anything. They'll know what this voyage is all about. So we had the love voyage in mind before we left. But as you know, we were hit by a ship, which is totally incredible that we're still alive and that I was able to make the repairs to keep going. But we gave up on drawing the heart because I sailed the whole voyage with the disabled ship without the ability to sail the boat against the wind, to weather. And but after I rounded Cape Horn and I sailed up into the South Atlantic, I looked at the chart and I said, look, I see that line, and if I go like this, I'll actually draw a heart if the weather's with me. So I did draw a heart. It's on our Google map. It's on my map. It's a perfect heart. It's not quite as big as the other one, but it's a heart. And I was thinking of love the whole time. And as I said, I gave my strength as a child and with our family. And the support of my family gave me strength of love, and that's where everyone begins their life and gets their strength and their character. That's why family love is so important, and that gave me the strength to do the voyage. I can talk a lot about
Same
love.
question to Sonia. Same question to Sonia.
Give us the question again, please.
About love. How much love? What kept you on all those days?
Well, love definitely plays a huge role in this whole voyage. When we first started out, you know, I didn't have a lot of sailing experience, and I had to trust in Reid, and I think that takes a kind of a level of love right there. And being out at sea and experiencing the collision and how it was frightening, you know, at the time that it happened, and then moving on, making the repairs, and then facing the other challenges that the sea brings to you. That again requires that you feel some love for the environment, for what you're doing, and also the love of the divine, you know, just coming down and protecting you. And I had total faith in that. And I think that's what helped me get through all the challenges that we face.
So you're going to stay on the ground? You're going to still live on the boat now? What are you going to do now?
Well, yeah, I'm going to stay on the boat. I love the boat. Most of the people here know the boat quite well. The boat was built at my family beach cottage in North Carolina with my granddad, my dad, and my family. My brother's here. He helped me build it. He's my partner. Standing in the back. Couldn't have done it without family.
What kind of shape is the boat in?
Oh, I love the boat. The boat is the mighty schooner. She's a boat like no vessel in the world. She's done what no vessel in the world has done. She got worn out, and she got beat to death, and she got turned upside down, and she needs to be rebuilt. She needs all kinds of new things. But look, I came back. I sailed back. I motored up to the dock. Everything on the boat is ready to go, and I'll tell you, that boat would take me for another year, and there's still a year's worth of food in that boat. It's a great boat. It's a super boat. It's a magical boat. It's full of love, because I didn't pay to have the boat worked on. Everybody who helped out of love, and that's why the boat is full of love. And I love the boat. I'm going to stay on the boat, and Sonia loves it too. Anyway, we don't have another home or anywhere else to go, so.
Question was, how did you keep the motor happy for 3 years?
I had a disaster before going. The motor kind of broke down and blew up, and I couldn't get anyone to help me fix it. Finally, I had to call Detroit Diesel over in New Jersey, and so they sent a professional to help me rebuild it. And he looked at it right away. We started working on it. I said, I'm going to work with you. And he pulled, we got some tackles, and we pulled the top of the motor up. And he said, well, you need a new this and a new that and a new this. I said, we got to do it. Finally, I had this huge bill, and I had no money. I mean, it was a huge bill beyond what I've ever had for money. And it was a real setback for me and very difficult. I couldn't get money anywhere. My best friends who've been helping me for a long time, they really didn't. I have a lot of people here helping me with a lot of money. And I finally was ready to go, and no one would answer my phone calls. They knew Reid was calling, he was asking for help. Mom and Dad paid the bill, and I sailed away. And so it turned out to be a blessing, because the motor runs well now, and it brought me home. So it turned out to be a blessing.
I have a question here.
What guidance would you have to people who want to live more sustainably in harmony with nature? I think the era is there that we need to be in harmony with Mother Earth, and I think you have lots of experience. What guidance can you give?
I wrote a lot about that because that was really the key to my success, that I tuned into nature. But I've been doing this most of my life. So when I went to sea, I let the things on the shore go, and I said, this is where I am, and I love it, and I'm going to do something for you. And I tuned into the nature. I tuned into the sea. I loved every wave, one after the next. I love the depths of the sea, and I love the sky. And you wouldn't believe it. I would come out of the hatch to look and see what happened, and love would gush out of me, and I would go, I love you. So I tuned into the sea, and I tuned into the nature. And there's other things like eat organic, natural, healthy food, use alternative energy power, use the sun, use it naturally. And so it was from tuning into the sea that I was able to understand what the weather was doing and what to expect. I was never caught by surprise by a storm. I always knew what was happening. I always did what I had to do. There weren't like emergency moments like this and that. I spoke to the nature, and the nature spoke to me in many, many ways.
Hi, you said your family's love helped you get through it. What's it like to be back with them today? What are some of the emotions
And
like
your
for
son,
your
too,
family?
yeah.
Son.
Where's your son?
Well, my son must be wandering around with someone. Yeah, family love and what's it to be like. You can see how happy I am. And I'm holding my back from just crying out loud every time I look at someone. And I love more than my family. There's people I look at and I love. I'm just going to cry.
Bring him his
So
son.
it's all starts with the family and then my friends who've been helping me.
How's it to see your son for the first time?
Can you bring him his son?
Yeah, where's his son?
Where's his son?
I don't want to
Hi, Reid, welcome back.
Okay.
I put you on public access TV when you first started. And I'm wondering, Frank Raven here, how could you, if you're sleeping alone, how can you, if you're out in the middle of the sea, suddenly a sailboat or something may happen, or a big ship, how do you protect yourself? You just intuitive, I mean, how do you do it so that you don't crack into something, you know, to keep your eyes peeled?
Well, we did have a collision with the ship. You can't look all the time, even though I was up in the pilot house watching. It was a beautiful night. We were sailing along, moon, everything. But you know, those ships, they can't see. And I talked to the captains, they're not always looking. They have chief crew members who are hanging out. So the ships are going on autopilot, and we're going on, you know, balance, and on the wind too. You can't look all the time. I look all the time. But I tell you, I went months without seeing a ship. I went 2 months, 3 months without ever seeing a ship. Even when I sailed into the New York City harbor, I was trying to stay up all night, and I sat outside and I was falling asleep, waking up. I never saw a ship come in or out. There's not many ships out there. It's a giant, giant ocean, and you just don't hardly see any ships or boats.
Okay, we're just going to do 2 more questions. Go ahead.
Reid, you've averaged over 2,000 visitors every day, pretty much the whole voyage. So that's over 2 or 3 million people that are browsing this website. Many of them, 1,000, 400 or 500.
Okay, that was Fred Sullivan, who, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago said, Reid, this is great, let me build a website for you. So Fred built it, and he kept it going all those years. I didn't even have money. I don't even know how he kept it going. And then he was generous enough to let his art creation be contributed to by a lot of other people. There's a lot of other very genius computer people in this crowd who contributed to the website to make it what it is. And he said over 2,000 people a day coming to the website. And they got to join in on the voyage. And I tried to write to a number of people. I tried to answer quick letters, but there was too much for me. And I'm so grateful that everyone, so many people have enjoyed it. And we're going to try to keep it going and let you know, because, like I said, we're on the boat and the love voyage is still going. So we've got adventures happening all the time. We don't know what's happening next. We already know where we're going, how we're staying, or what we're going to do. So the love voyage is going on. It's an adventure.
Next question.
Hi, Reid. I wanted to know if you knew you were going to accomplish this when you set out, or was there a point in time where everything just clicked and that's when you knew you'd go all the way?
I always have a lot of faith that I'm going to succeed at what I'm doing with my voyages. You know, I was 20 years old when I sailed away in a tiny catamaran that weighed 1,400 pounds with no motor, no radio, no electronics, no way to call for help, no life raft. My parents supported me and let me do what I wanted to do. And I believed that I could make it.
And after I did that, and after I did a lot of voyages, after I sailed to Antarctica, I said I can do 1,000 days. All I have to do is do what I've been doing all my life. So I can believe that I can do it. I had some tough times through the beginning of the voyage. And after the whale appeared on my chart, I said, that's a message. And from then on, I was confident that I could do it, and it put me in a state of grace where I was able to feel good. And when I felt good, I was able to spread out over the universe, and I received a lot of stuff, which I've been trying to share the last half a year. I haven't sent stuff in, so I'm real eager to share what I've written and painted in the last half a year on the voyage. Thank you.
Just a couple of housekeeping issues, folks. 1000days.net is where you can find a lot of this adventure chronicled, and also Reid's contacts. Also want to remind everyone there's a welcome home party for him at Pier 66 Maritime. That's West 26th on Sunday at 6 p.m. It's $20 at the door. And I guess that's the end of our public ceremony today.
I had a hard time after that. It was tough sailing in the Tasman Sea, sailing the boat by myself.